Hey everybody, Jam Creates here, doing a driving video. It's been a little while since I've done one of these. I've been very heavy on the Jawbreakers content over the last few days, obviously. That's a big deal. So of course I tried to cover it accordingly. So anyway, today I wanted to talk about something that is still somewhat related to that, actually. Oh, for those of you who are new to the channel, and you guys are awesome because I've gotten a bunch of new subscribers all of a sudden, and that's incredible. Thank you guys for jumping on board. I love it. Make sure to comment on the videos. I love answering comments on videos. I love having conversations with people. And definitely, if you've not subscribed yet, please subscribe to the channel. Okay, with that out of the way, what I wanted to talk about today is excitement, energy, enthusiasm. All of these things, at least in the comic book world, all of these things used to come from the big two. They really did. Anytime there was just huge excitement for a storyline or a new series or a new character or whatever it might be, it was always something coming from the big two. I mean, I remember talking to my friends back in the day, when Onslaught was a thing, and it was who is Onslaught? What is he? Where is he coming from? And I remember talking to my friends dude, did you see the last issue where he punched Juggernaut and sent him flying 4 states away? All that kind of stuff was super exciting. It was really cool. It was well, what is this going to be? Who is this going to be? What's the story here? And then you had things what was bigger than Marvel versus DC when they had the crossovers, and then of course the Amalgam universe where they merged Marvel and DC characters together to make this is stuff that was so over the top, so so huge, so mind-blowing that if you were a comic book fan back in the day, you were super excited for these things. You knew exactly when these books were coming. You had them, you had them on your pull list already, or you knew what day they were coming, so you could run to the comic book store the day they got there and you could grab them. This stuff was so exciting. All of it was exciting. The death of Superman was another storyline that people were looking forward to like crazy. Batman Nightfall and all this other stuff was exciting. Now, some of it, yeah, you could say it's gimmicky and that's why it was exciting, but it didn't matter. It was excitement. Now, you get no excitement out of the big two. You really don't. Marvel, it seems every other day they've got 4 different big crossover events going, and none of them really matter because before one's even over, they're promoting the next one, and they've got 2 more going in the background. And none of them really matter. It's nothing going to be earth-shattering. It really isn't. They're just trying to get you to buy books. And obviously I don't have any problem with that. That's the point, is to sell books. But then when you buy the books are terrible. And there's just no excitement. Everything is so boring. And that's honestly the worst thing that I could ever say about a comic book, is that it's boring. And that's what most of Marvel Comics is nowadays. Not all of them. There are still some good books out there. But the majority of what Marvel is putting out is just boring. It's uninspired and it's uninspiring. Where is the energy coming from? Because all of a sudden I have seen a newfound energy, enthusiasm, excitement about comic books that I haven't seen in years. I'm talking decades. And it's all coming from the independent scene. Indie comics have always been around, but they've always been this little niche thing that's I read this or I read that, and this is pretty good, and this gets really good reviews and that kind of stuff. And none of them, set huge sales records or anything like that, but they are what they are, and whatever, It was the place to try out weird little things and tell funky stories and things like that. Now, though, that's where the excitement is. The excitement is no longer with these big establishment heroes. they should have been capitalizing on the movies, because the movies have just blown up. I mean, characters that, let's be honest, the majority of the comic book buying populace did not care about. Like, when the Avengers first started, when they did Iron Man and Captain America and all, those characters were B-tier characters in the Marvel roster that the movies turned into the A-listers. And now they are the A-listers, but then what did Marvel do? Just when those characters became the biggest thing around, they pulled all those characters out of their own books and replaced them with different heroes. It was such a nonsensical move. You know, people always joke, people like to joke about buzzwords in corporate speak, things like synergy and brand synergy and that kind of. Well, there was literally the opposite of brand synergy going on right there. And it shows, because the comic books continue to not sell. And you can talk to me all you want about the fake numbers of, hey, these comic books, they actually, they sold this many. No, they shipped that many to stores. That's not sold through. I'm a long time fan of the gaming industry, and I know the difference between when Sony announces how many units were shipped and when someone else announces how many units were sold. There's a difference. You can make something sound really impressive if you stuff the channel with product and then say, we shipped 2 million units. Yeah, and you sold 100,000, and now the rest are sitting on shelves getting slashed in price. I know how it works. You're not fooling me. You're not fooling anybody with this stuff, okay? So stop with the shipped numbers are sold numbers. It's BS. It's absolute BS. And I know in a way it's not BS because you've already gotten paid if you're Marvel or DC. And that's pretty horse poopy because the people who bought those are now going out of business. So guess what? The next time you try that, there's less. And the next time, there's less. And the next time, there's less because the stores keep closing. The less places there are to sell your books, you can keep shipping as many as you want. They're not going to sell. You're putting your own company out of business by putting the people who sell your product out of business. Anyway, forget that. Let's get to the excitement, the fun stuff. Crowdfunding, Indiegogo campaigns that make $500,000 or more in some cases. Hundreds of thousands of dollars in these crowdfunding campaigns. What happens? The establishment people from the big companies get all PO'd because they don't understand. They don't understand. They see people wanting to buy product and wanting to buy comics, but nobody wants to buy their comics. So now they get all PO'd. They start all this nonsense of calling names and trying to cast aspersions on the creators and all that kind of stuff. But then the best part was then they tried to come with, well, this is all fake. It's a grift. It's a scam. They're scamming these people out of this money and blah, 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 blah. Oh, yeah? I've gotten my copy of Stardust. I've gotten my copy of Jawbreakers. My copy of Lone Star is on the way. Mike and his 87 kids are packing them all up and shipping them out. Graveyard Shift. I already know. Malin went to sign them, and they're going to be shipped out very soon. So we're going to get all these books. These books are happening. They're not a scam. They're not a grift. And these are the books that are getting the fans excited. I'm sorry that your overpriced monthlies are not getting people excited. That's not my fault, though. That's your fault for putting out a substandard product. The market will decide. And then if you want to say, well, you're just a Comicsgate stooge and blah, I'm not just talking about Comicsgate. Brian Pulido, his Lady Death book, made $250,000, and then his other one that he just did made another bunch of money. Why? Because he puts out a good product that people want. Alterna Comics charges $150 cover price for their comics, and they put out quality comics on a monthly basis. They're not doing like big graphic novel $25, $50 tiers for people to buy into. They're doing $1.50 on newsprint monthly miniseries, and those books are selling. Alterna's doing wonderful. They're doing great business. Their business has boomed ever since people started attacking them. And again, why are people attacking them? Because they're successful. They're being successful. And unfortunately, in the world we seem to live in, comic book professionals seem to hate success, and I don't understand it. I never will understand it. I don't want to understand it. Because if I understand it, it means I'm probably screwed up in the head like they are, and I'd rather not be. So I'm fine with that. It's much like when somebody sees a serial killer and says, I don't understand how someone could do that. Well, it's good that you don't understand that, because if you did understand it, it would mean you were crazy. So I don't want to understand why people hate success, why comic book artists and writers in the mainstream seem to hate the success of others. They seem to despise success in and of itself, as if being successful somehow is a horrible thing. I don't want to understand that. If that's your perspective and that's what you think, I don't want to understand you, because you make no sense. I want to be excited about comic books. I want to read comic books that are exciting, that are fun. I don't want to read a comic book where the whole thing leads up to somebody lecturing somebody else about whatever, and then, tweeting something mean at someone, and that's how they defeat the villain. That's ridiculous. No, give me good, fun, action-adventure stories. That's what I want. I don't care where they're set. I don't care if it's set in modern day and they're superhero stories. I don't care if they're set in the future and they're science fiction stories. I don't care if they're set in the past and they're like sword and sorcery type stories. I don't care if they're horror stories. It doesn't matter to me. Just tell me a fun, exciting story and I'm in. That's what I want. That's all anybody really wants. It's like a little kid laying down before bed and saying, Mommy, Daddy, tell me a story. Do you think they want you to tell them a story that's like about someone being lectured about the ills of capitalism? No! They want to hear a story about a princess and a dragon and a prince and whatever. Like, that's what they want to hear. Or they want to hear about aliens landing in a school and kids have to defeat them using their boogers. Like, that's what kids want to hear. Like, nobody, like, by the way, I am copywriting that and I am turning that into a story, okay? So don't even think about it. I know if you're out there listening, some people are probably going to try and steal that. Actually, I don't care. If you want to steal that, that's fine. Anyway, I see people being excited about comics again. And how is that a bad thing? I don't see it. It's not a bad thing. It's a good thing that people are excited about this medium. This is a very American medium. Especially superhero comics are wholly American. Comic books exist in other countries, of course, and in other cultures, but superhero, like traditional action-adventure superhero comics are a very American institution. And what's wrong with that? Like, let's embrace that. Let's have fun with that. Let's be proud of that. Like, it makes no sense to me the way these people are acting. We should be super excited about any comic that's successful in this day and age, because quite frankly, most are not. Most comics are not successful nowadays. Most comics don't sell that well and get canceled after just a handful of issues. Heck, half of them can barely get themselves printed. So if a comic book is being successful and making $500,000, that's something we should all be excited about. That means there's money back in the industry. People are buying comic books. Everyone should be excited because people are excited. And that's the other thing. Enthusiasm breeds enthusiasm. When creators are excited and enthusiastic about what they're creating, then the fans will get excited and enthusiastic about what those people are creating. So anyway, this was a good car rant, not really a rant, but just a good car session. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If this is your first time hearing me drive the car and talk, this is what I do from time to time. I just drive home from work and I talk to you guys. It's just a cool conversation between me and you. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up, please. If you're new to the channel, if you found me through some of the Jawbreakers review stuff, definitely subscribe to the channel, follow me on Twitter. I'm at jam_creates. Hit the bell so you don't miss any notifications. I am toying with the idea of doing some live streams eventually. I don't really have a setup for it, and I'm trying to figure out the best way to do it and make it work, especially because I do have some guests, possibly some guests, maybe some guests who worked on some stuff. We'll see. I've been chatting with some people online. So this is this, that's that. We'll get to that eventually. Anyway, hope you liked the video. Follow me on all those different social medias, the ones that matter at least, or whatever. They're all dying. I don't care. Anyway, no, just follow me on Twitter. I'm at jam_creates. I'm on Instagram at jam_creates. I'm on Minds at jamcreates. I'm on, I don't know. Just look for Jam Creates. You'll probably find me. If you see smiley bones, that's my little smiley face with the tongue sticking out with the bones behind them, then you know it's me, because that's my logo. It's been my logo for ages and ages and ages. Not that anyone would know that, but now you know. And knowing is half the battle. Okay, I'm out. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.